Hey, in this episode, we're going to be talking about the new System of a Down songs that were just released and the conflict they were released to raise awareness of. We're going to be talking about some of the other music I've been listening to lately and some things that are upcoming in the near future. So stick around for this Music in the Rough, Good as Can Be vlog number 1. All right, so for those of you who don't already know, uh, System of a Down just released 2 new songs in order to raise awareness for the Nagorno-karabakh war, which has just resurfaced and it's fighting for the first time in years. There's been conflict in the region ever since the last time there was fighting, but the military's just engaged again, and there has been a major uh, issue in the region, military issue. So, and of course, it's affecting the citizens as war does. So we're gonna get into that, but before we get into System of a Down and their music and their messaging and the conflicts themselves, I have a few updates from the vlog, updates relevant to the vlog. So let me go into that real quick, and then we'll get into System of a Down. So on the vlog, I have an eclectic mix of lots of reaction videos to come. I have a nice long list of things to react to, but first I want to reach out to the artists and the labels so that I can make sure I'm not going to get copyright strikes, and so that these videos that I put up can stay up. And I'd like to bring the reactions to you, but I'd hate for a nice reaction to be up and it to get popular and you all to love it, and then it get taken down and you can't find it again. So I'm trying to do this the right way. The reactions, they'll be not just like me oohing and ahhing over the music, but it's going to be very in-depth. I'll be reacting to the conscious messaging that I can infer from just the lyrics themselves, and I'll do research into the artists and see what they're really trying to say with their music, and then also the subconscious messaging and what the music means in a grander scheme of the world, and what we as listeners can take from it in terms of positivity and trying to find the light in the world as best as we can. So there's that. I've been practicing my instrument, the drums, ever since setting up the drum set a couple weeks ago for the first time in years. And I've been playing almost every day, but I'd like to play for about an hour or more a day for a year, see where that gets me, and then ramp up my efforts and start playing more after that. But for this coming year, I'd like to start playing an hour a day. So I registered for a intro to jazz course at my community college that I just enrolled in, and registered for classes. I start classes in January, and I have an intro to jazz course, which I'm super excited about. That's one of my favorite genres, and it's definitely opened my mind to a whole different world of music, so I'm excited to learn more about the genre. I also got on Reddit and have been in music subreddits and getting a lot of inspiration of what to listen to. So this channel should be booming. I have tons of content to come for you all. And yeah, so with that, let's get into System of a Down. So the first thing to note when you're listening to this new System of a Down music, and really in any System of a Down music, is that it's not just music for the sake of music. It's not just to get you to hear something pretty or brutal or fun to listen to. It's really activism music. Like, that's literally the reason why they released these 2 songs, which are, by the way, they're Genocidal Humanoids is one song, and Protect the Land is the other. But they were literally released to raise awareness and funds for the Nagorno-karabakh war, which is a war that is fought between Artsakh, Armenia, and Azerbaijan and Turkey. It's two sides. There's Azerbaijan, which is backed by Turkey, and there's Artsakh, which is backed by Armenia. There's a whole, it's like a conflict that cannot be solved through military. There's really no conflict that can be solved through military. Um, it just kills people, and it's futile. It should be abolished in this day and age. But uh, all that besides the point. These two sides are they're fighting over a piece of land that is, as of now, called Artsakh to Armenians who have been occupying the land for, I believe, 100 years or more. But before that, the land, it's not very clear what is going on in the region. It's not very clear who has rights to what. So really fighting to the death is not worth it. But there is, it's as System of a Down points out in other music of theirs and past music of theirs, that it's in war, it is the poor that are sent to war. It's not the governments that are perpetrating the war that are sent to war. The elites, the higher ups, are the ones saying, "You go fight for me now," and then all the people go fight for them. So, and they do this "you go fight for me now" business by pulling strings with other governments against other governments. Though it's really, I hold this highly in my understanding that all the governments work together. That's what they're doing. They're diplomatic entities, and it's the people who fight. But the people fight on behalf of these governments, telling them that they have to fight, or this bad thing will happen, or that bad thing will happen. So yeah, all that to say, this is activism music, and don't listen to it just thinking that you are in for entertainment, because if you are listening to it for that reason, then you are very ignorant or arrogant to the fact that there are people dying, and that is why this music was created for you. So at least bear that in mind when you're listening to the music. But next point is this cause truly positive? Is the fact that they made music to raise awareness for the conflict and to defend their land, is that really a positive effort? There we go. Is that a positive effort to have created this music that raises awareness? If you phrase it like that, definitely. To raise awareness for a conflict is definitely positive. However, the way that they did it, I don't know if I could say that's completely positive. The songs Genocidal Humanoids, which is literally calling the other side humanoids who are trying to perpetrate genocide. If that is true, that the other side is trying to perpetrate genocide, and their warriors are not so much warriors, but more just mercenary men who are sent by other countries, and just not really there to with their own interests, more just for money from their employer, which is the military. If that's true, that those big countries perpetrating this violence are just doing it so that they can occupy the land and then carry out a genocide, then definitely that calling them genocidal humanoids is righteous and rightful. However, I am not sure. It's very hard to tell with any conflict like this what the truth is, especially when listening to one side's side, one side's outlook on the matter, because they are affected. So it's hard as a creator of content and a person who's putting out a message from your side. It's very likely to be biased. It's definitely biased, but from what I can tell, it does seem like they're at least they're telling their truth, and it might be the truth. Of course, Azerbaijan, which is the other side, the attackers who actually attacked in the first place, that's why I call them attackers. They say, though, that the land was theirs, and Artsakh, Armenia, has been occupying it. And see, now, to me, who gives, like, let them have the land. Who cares? It's just land. You have your land, they have their land. Now, if Artsakh and Armenians were, like, hurting you by being on the land, not just your pride or your emotions or your feelings, if they were, like, literally, like, using that land to throw forces at you, or if you were in that land, there's still some of your people in that land, and they were, like, terrorizing them or torturing them, then I can understand aggressing. However, because that would be considered defense. But however, as it sits, from what I can gather, Artsakh is about 99% or so Armenian, and the other side is Azerbaijan, and their government just wants the land. So, and it's probably, from what I can gather also, it's probably to appease the people that are under their regime, because Azerbaijan is actually, it's a democracy, but it's a one-party democracy, so with very little opposition to the one party. And from what I can tell, they're just trying to assert their supremacy and dominance, to look good for the people that they are telling what to do. But Armenians hold that they're not only doing that, they're also dictators, essentially, and they are trying to gain power and money and control, further their control over their people. So it's, who knows? It's really hard to tell exactly what's going on. But yeah, System of a Down, they released their music so that we can look into this issue. So I have been doing that. I love System of a Down's music. I never understood their politics and their activism, but now I understand it a lot more after my research, and that's what they wanted. That's why they released the music. Of course, they want their side to protect their land and protect their people who are on that land, but they're not, I hope that they're not arrogant enough to think that everyone that listens to their music is going to take their side. But I am leaning more towards their side after doing a lot of research. I can't say that I'm right, but that's what it seems to be. Because, both sides have claims to that land. Both sides have claims to what is going on, but it seems as if the Armenian side is more the defender in this case, and the Azeri side is the perpetrator of this violence. But yeah, as you can maybe tell from watching me talk about this, I've kind of burnt out on researching this conflict. It's a lot to take in, and there's not much that a single person can do, a single person who's not super rich or has much influence. But so it's more just me learning about it, and maybe I can do something. But really what I would offer is that both sides should just drop arms. That's what I would offer in every violent conflict, is that both sides should just say, let's move on, move away from each other, take some space, and think about how we've been bad. So yeah, I'm pretty burnt out on researching it, so I'm going to just leave it as it is. There's not much I can do, so yeah. Closing statements on the System of a Down note, though this isn't the end of the video, I still have some other things to talk about, but closing statements on the Nagorno-karabakh conflict. It's going to be a sloppy resolution no matter what, unless both sides literally do what I would say, which is that they should just drop their weapons, get along in peace, and move on. They're all humans. It doesn't matter where they're from, what culture they have. If you're staying in your own lane, then it's pretty easy to not have to fight. Of course, they're the government's perpetrating it and pulling strings within the people's minds, making them think that they have to. So when I say they need to drop their weapons and move on, I'm also referring to the governments and the people that are pulling their strings. They need to drop their strings. Let the people have their lives. I should also definitely mention, if I haven't already mentioned this, that the warring has actually stopped according to a interview that I watched this morning with System of a Down. I'll link that interview below. But the fighting has stopped as of this morning or last night or very recently. I don't know if that'll hold. Hopefully it does. But yeah, I don't know if the fighting stopped with looking for concessions from one or the other side, but hopefully not. Hopefully it's just stopped because they don't want to fight anymore, though I doubt it given this day and age. But yeah, so let's move on to the other things I have for this vlog. There are a lot much lighter topics. They are not about war, and they're simply about music. So to brighten your spirits a bit, I have discovered 3.5 college radio stations that reach my house here just north of the North Carolina Triangle region. There's the Duke radio station, the North Carolina Central station, and the NC State station. And then UNC almost reaches here. It reaches here, but it cuts out in and out. So that's the 0.5. I have them on my drive home, but once I get here, it's not really great. This gives me a nice mix of, there's jazz, there is indie, there's metal, there's hip hop, there's rock, and alternative, and just really any music you could think of reaches here via these college radio stations, which I'm very grateful for. College radio is really the best type of radio. It's not for hitting pop charts. So I'm gonna eventually make a video highlighting these radio stations and the North Carolina College Radio Network, because there are a ton of college radio stations in North Carolina. There's tons of colleges, and it's really cool. I also have a few friends coming out with new music, which I will be highlighting on this channel. I'll be reacting to, and I will be hopefully interviewing them and doing some other things. The artists I can think of off the top of my head are Monotheist, which is a Christian death metal band. It's Christian death metal. It's to a lot of people that sounds contradictory. However, it's not. It's probably the least contradictory thing that could ever happen, because Christianity is all based on what happens when you die and what you have to do before you die. So then the death metal part is about when you die and how death happens and why death happens and everything about death. So Christian death metal is very on topic, relevant, and I'm not Christian, but I love the band. Prophet, who is the creator of all the music and the lead guitarist, he is a good friend of mine. My little brother actually used to be in the band. He was a rhythm guitarist, and so I've been pretty close with them, and I've followed all their new music, and they'll be coming out with new music pretty soon, and I will be hopefully reacting to that on this channel. I have a friend, Mighty 1K Solid, that's his artist name. He's gonna be releasing an EP very soon with Jadakiss, or Jadakiss, I don't know how to pronounce it. Jadakiss, I don't know. But I know he's an iconic rapper, and my friend who's releasing this EP with him is a super talented artist. The content is very relevant. I don't really live the type of lifestyle that he lives. I have before. I used to hustle with this guy, and we were business partners for a while, but nowadays I live the family life, and I'm into different kinds of business. So, but he's releasing his EP, and it's sure to be full of bangers. So I'll be highlighting that on this channel as well. And then another band I can think of is my friends from a restaurant I used to work at. They are two of them. I think two of them are members of a metal band coming out of Florida called Hollowbrook. They're releasing their first work shortly, so I'm excited to listen to that, and hopefully if they stick around, which hopefully they do, I will be highlighting them on this channel. So yeah, there's other I have friends from all walks of life and all types of music, and I'll be putting them on this channel. And not only that, but I'll be also putting famous acts on this channel for your viewing pleasure. So make sure you subscribe to the channel, and I will be catching you next episode of the Good as Can Be vlog. Turn your notifications to all on your subscription so that you're aware of all our future uploads. And it's not just a vlog channel, by the way. There's other content, and yeah, I look forward to bringing you more of that. See you next time. Take care.